Okay.
Hi, Pat. It's good to see you today.
Hi.
I was wondering, did you have a chance to watch that amazing video that Marianne made a couple of years ago related to Martin Luther King Jr.?
Actually, I've watched that several times and I've sent it to several people. It's an extraordinary interview. And after I saw it the first time, which was within the last month, I went out and purchased, I went on Amazon and purchased I think it's called A Reason for Hope. It's an anthology of all his speeches and all his speeches and interviews. And Marianne talked about how she had read every every um, every book, every biography of Martin Luther King. And so what's happening for me really now is I'm educating myself a little bit more now, really motivated by listening to that video.
Well, that's interesting. I think that would be the whole point, really, is
Mhm.
is to learn more investigation
Yes.
into um Martin Luther King himself, and then also investigation inward, because I don't know about you, but I always find reading speeches like that causes me to look inward as much as it does to look outward.
Oh, yeah. So much so. Yeah. I interviewed Alex about we were choosing one of Martin Luther King's speeches, and he chose the speech that he gave about Vietnam, titled Vietnam and Beyond.
Hmm.
And some of this you may be wanting to edit out. But so I watched it, I read it, I cried through it,
Hmm.
and I called my son in Texas, who is not a Republican, but he's stuck in Texas. And I told him that I'd interviewed Alex on that speech, and without missing a beat, my son said that's the one that got him killed. And I might have told you this before. And I said, "How did you know that?" Well, he had a professor that shared that information, and I could see absolutely yes, because he spoke about all the things that Marianne is talking about. And this is the part you may want to edit out, but Marianne knows history so well. She's seen what happened in the 60s.
Hmm.
Marianne knows that she is being targeted in the ways that she is now, but she also knows that the greatest sacrifice could be her life. She's aware that that is a possibility. And actually, somebody asked her that on one of her videos. And she said, some of us, when we see what's going on and we've lived as long as we have, not doing what we came here to do is worse than being killed. So
Yeah.
she is an extraordinarily brave woman. Extraordinarily brave woman. This has nothing to do with the question that you still haven't asked me yet. So,
I know.
but
I, I worry about that at times
Mhm.
because yeah, it just seems so obvious with the way that some people die these days, and no connection to Marianne at all, but like how Epstein died in a jail cell, you know. Um I Yeah, there's just a huge risk, and to rise above that and still work from your heart is you know more than a mama lion and more than a mama bear.
Yes, it is.
So yeah,
It's a woman. It's a woman who knows her calling and is willing to. It's more like Joan of Arc, really. Yeah.
well, on that Joan of Arc kind of image, let me segue into another question.
Mhm.
And in a so this question is kind of a what if question.
Mhm.
And in this question, we're going to start by pretending that Martin Luther King was not assassinated.
Mhm.
So let's say he was not assassinated, and in actuality, he was elected to the presidency of the United States of America. Can you name one thing that you think would be different if Martin Luther King had become president of the United States?
The first thing that comes to my mind, and it's an extraordinary imagining, is what if the military industrial complex had been stopped? It's been a bulldozer, it's been a steamroller. It's escalated and escalated and escalated to the point that we are now. But what if that military industrial complex had been thwarted and eliminated?
So if it had been, what would be in its place now? Because it wouldn't just be this void hole. It doesn't, it wouldn't be like another military thing, but what would be like the big thing that blooms in society that fills
It,
that
it would
space?
be it would be a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. It would be the people. It would be a democracy, not an oligarchy or all the different words that it can be called, a puppet of the corporations, which is what we have now, but it would be a, a democratic country that represented the people. And in representing the people, there would be so much more equality uh, with all these issues like immigration, racism, the economy, children's needs, health care.
Mhm.
Would all be different. It would all be completely different. And then along comes Marianne, who
And then along comes Marianne.